Greetings. I'm Plug, Bigo ID BRAD also known as Trainer Plug. I'm currently operating as the mayor of Bigo. And as the mayor of Bigo, I'd just like to welcome you to the app and also teach you a few things. If you've made it to this training session, I'm assuming you've already completed your hosting audition and you're ready to begin with your first month hosting on the app. So we're going to talk about what that means. We're going to talk about what are you trying to do, what are your goals, and we're also going to discuss a few methods of attaining those goals. And hopefully by the end of this training, you will be much more comfortable with utilizing and operating within the app, okay? So we all know live streaming from Instagram Live or Facebook Live, even apps like Periscope, where one takes their phone and just records their surroundings, kind of haphazardly, explaining what's new and exciting in their life, right? Paid broadcasting is similar, except instead of just hoping or expecting content or entertainment to develop outside the world and you be there to record it. In this situation, you yourself, as the host, as the broadcaster, assume responsibility for creating this content, right? You are saying that you yourself are able to create and generate enough interest in order to receive currency in the forms of gifts and receive support from others based on whatever you're able to present to a live audience, okay? So the basic premises is you turn your phone on, you go live, you produce some form of entertainment, whether it be communication, whether you're a great conversationalist, you may play the banjo, you may have sex appeal. You know, you figure out what for you is able to generate fans and support and admiration, and you find a way to capitalize on your particular talents in order to complete your goals on the app, okay? So the first thing we need you to realize is Bigo operates on PST timing. So if you're ever scheduled for anything with Bigo, it will be told to you in PST. The reason I want to start here is because the basis of understanding is knowing what day cycles and time zones you're going to be operating on. Because when we get to telling you about possible events and things of that nature that you can do, that may be something you want to know, okay? So the basics. This chart that I'm showing you here is known as a quota chart, okay? This quota chart has different levels, as you see on the far left side. These different levels have different payouts, as you see on the far right side. Now, the only way to attain these payouts is to complete the hours required and the bean goal for that particular level, okay? So as you see here, a $50,000 bean goal in conjunction with 32 completed hours of live streaming will give you a cash out payment of $520, okay? This goes up to a bean goal of 4 million. With a requirement of 56 hours streaming for a $30,000 payout. So there is a broad range and spectrum of live streaming, from entry-level live streaming to advanced, consistent, more program-based, promoted or marketed items. And there's a lot of different ways to attain in those manners. So the goal here is to, for one, learn how to complete your hours, right? Because of the two things that we see here, as a broadcaster, you are only in full control of one of those things. That one thing you are in full control of is those hours, okay? So how do you get hours? Well, as you broadcast, time is kept by the app, okay? You must stream for a minimum of 30 minutes for your live stream to be registered and for that time to count for that day. You can live stream for a maximum of 2 hours per live stream per day. That will count towards your quota. Any additional time in which you live stream will not count as far as time. But any gifts that you gain while you are still live will indeed count. Actually, any gifts you receive while on the app will count towards your quota. Okay? So the goal is to do your hours, at least your 2 hours a day if you can, and maybe even more, because the longer you are available, the more opportunities someone has to give you gifts. So make sure that you're able to find a comfort zone as far as location. Make sure you're able to find some form of ambiance that helps lure and draw in gifters, but we'll talk about that soon, okay? Now, this quota does have 2 specific rules. The first rule is whichever agency you have joined, right? Members of your agency can only gift you 40% of your maximum beans gathered during that month, okay? 40% is the maximum number of beans that can come from people within your agency, okay? The reason for this is they like for us to actually go out on the app and find gifters there instead of staying within the comfort of our own internal networks and trying to outsmart the system, okay? So while agency members will be able to assist you, there is a limitation on the amount. The second concept is out of region beans, okay? So if you look at this screen here, you will see a list of locations in which we as North American hosts, and I'm hoping that most of you are North American hosts. It may be different. Most of these rules do apply for North American hosts. You will see a list of places where we can receive our gifts from. Because our currency exchange rate is higher than some other countries, places that are not on that list, when we receive gifts from them, their gifts will count for the full value in our wallets, right? So when you receive a gift, 25% of the gift's value goes to your wallet immediately. So receiving a gift from somewhere else will still equate to that. However, as in regards to your quota, only 20% of that gift will manifest, right? So if I was to give you 1,000 bean gift, which in America it ranges between $15 to $20, in your wallet, you will see about $2, a little bit less than $2. But in regard to your quota, and beans that count towards your quota, it will only increase by 200 beans, okay? So the way we're mindful of this, I'm gonna show you this screen here. And this is a message that Bigo sends to hosts about once a week, sometimes even twice, in order to give you a dashboard of your progress for that month, okay? So as you see here, not only does it have the out of region bean amount, but it also has your cross-agency percentage ratio, okay? So this is easy to keep up with. The problem is sometimes people don't know, and the only place they've been taught to seek information about their progress for the month is within the live data tab, okay? So the live data tab is still available to you, but the live data tab does not differentiate between in-region and out-of-region beans. It keeps up with the full amount of beans gathered by the host and does not differentiate. So feel free to use that as a quick check, but make sure that you're checking behind the scenes as well. Okay. Now, when it comes to getting these gifts, I like to note that there are two different types of gifts that one can receive. Okay. One can receive an organic gift, which is my favorite kind. It means that you've developed a relationship with a person, a fan even, or a person who enjoys your live streams. And this person is willing to give you gifts to support you. So we love our gifters because they are indeed what allow us to do what we do. And there is also a separate form of gifts to receive, which is known as doing business, meaning that you've decided to invest money in yourself, maybe in the form of trades, maybe in the form of I'll give you 1,000 beans, you give me 1,000 beans, in the hopes to reach a goal that you are close to, but you do not believe you would reach organically, right? So just be mindful of how you make your investments. I'm sure within your own agencies and your families, everyone has their own methods that work for them. As far as my personal recommendations, I just make sure that whatever you do invest in yourself, it is done with a purpose, not haphazardly, okay? So make sure you do at least a little bit of research and get a few ideas about what's actually going to work for you, okay? And while we're on this issue, this idea of how to receive gifts, where gifts come from, how to complete our hours, let's go ahead and talk about the completion of this process, okay? So we're going to look at this quota chart one more time. Gotcha. And this quota chart, we're going to pretend that we're at the end of the month and we have hit plan level A, right? So for 16 days, we did 2 hours worth of streaming. We have 32 hours. We've also gathered 110,000 beans, and our payout for the payday of the following month, which ranges between the 4th and the 15th, the payout amount for that is going to be $950. Okay. Now, once you receive this $950, I'm sure you're wondering, how do I convert this cash or convert these beans to cash? You'll simply click on your profile icon in the lower right corner on your Bigo app. You'll click on wallet, you'll click on beans, and you'll click the exchange rewards feature. This will give you a screen where you can put in the amount of cash you want to remove from the app, and you will tell them which service you would like to withdraw it to. Or me, those who work closely with me, recommend Payoneer. I've had no problems with receiving my funds from Payoneer. So we do ask that you create a Payoneer account. The link, which probably will be in the description. If not, I would definitely post the website link here, okay? At least the address, okay? So make sure that you sign up for a Payoneer account. You're going to do a individual form, and you're going to put in your personal information, okay? You don't have to give your Payoneer information to anyone. This is for you, and it's going to operate as a transfer account in order to convert your beans back to cash, and it will indeed send it to whoever your financial institution is, okay? So when it comes to the basics, the extreme basics of the app, in reference to getting your quota, what is a goal, and how do you actually complete that cycle? of getting your money off the app or transferring your beans back to foreign funds, this is the process, okay? So thanks for checking that out. Oh, hi. Now, I know that I gave you the extreme basics of the app, okay? But there's one thing I didn't tell you. What do I actually do? Well, because Bigo is such a broad and vast place, you can literally do whatever you want within the rules. So please take a time to review the community guidelines. I will have a link to those in the description because those are rules that you don't want to break while you live stream. And while the app does tell you the rules of live streaming, they don't really give you the blueprint to successful live streaming, okay? So what are the basics? You have the opportunity to change your Bigo ID from numbers to a phrase or a name that will stick with you throughout your streaming experience, okay? While you can change your Bigo ID, it will cost VIP points, okay? And while we're on this topic, VIP points are points that are earned by gifters who have recharged at least $1,200 and who have also paid or sent gifts that range in the amount of $1,000 while on the app, okay? Once someone has completed these metrics, they are rewarded VIP points by the app, and they will often bargain or wager or leverage the power of those points for those of us who want to go against the rules of Bigo per se. So in the same situation of the community guidelines, if you were to be banned, you would need VIP points. It's the same way if you would like to change your Bigo ID, you would need VIP points. So make sure that when you pick your Bigo ID, you pick something that is a good representation of you and is easy to be searched and found, okay? This will serve as, in a sense, your IP or your web name, okay? Your domain name, okay? After which you have a username. Your username, as you know, is the name that will pop up on the app. When you move from place to place, when you open your room, this name will be attached to your profile to represent who you are. Okay, so make sure you choose something that represents either your streaming style, your talents, pretty much gives a description of who you are, right? For example, Spider-Man. It's a man with spider powers. You see what I'm saying? So you want to pick something that reflects you, gives a strong interpretation of who you are, and it's something that you don't mind others calling you, okay? Profile image. So if you look here, these are a few images of some of our leaders in the respective agencies that I conglomerate with. And the goal is, as you see, to lure others to your live using a firm representation of yourself. There's a plethora of ways to do so. Just make sure that you choose something that fits your streaming style, okay? You have a bio. Now, my favorite phrase is to say, this is not Tinder. This is not Instagram. This isn't Facebook, okay? Your bio should be a reflection of your broadcast, okay? Not only are you introducing yourself, yes, you are the personality, but you are introducing your content. You are introducing your character. You are introducing your persona. So make sure if you have any events or you have any scheduled programming, now and here is the place to let people know what's going on with you, okay? After which we have the bar. Now, advertising on Bigo is the greatest place to advertise, right? You know for a fact that those who you reach out to on the app, utilizing it and understanding its functions. And you also give yourself a chance to meet new people, okay? So make sure that when you do create events, when you do go live, you share these instances to the bar, so that other people can see you and find you and actually spend time. They also have groups known as communities, which are similar to the group pages on Facebook, where you're no longer posting to the at-large world, right? You are now just posting to a small group of selected individuals who have agreed to be together on some similar topic. Okay. So those are the basics of just creating your page. Okay. The next thing you want to consider is your ambiance. As you see here, I'm operating under a colored lighting. I don't know if you can see the tint, but I feel that it works better with my skin tone. I also have a backdrop to create the illusion of being somewhere else, right? Give the illusion of completion or thoughtfulness within your live streaming experience, okay? Because everything matters, all right? I'm sure you all have seen a great movie that might have been bootlegged, right? So the quality of that film, in regards to the actual quality available, might not have been the same. No matter that the plot was still award-winning, the actors were still top tier, but the quality of the visual took away from the presentation as a whole. So don't let the quality of your presentation take away from your talent as a whole, okay? So we've talked about what the basics are, setting yourself up. We've discussed the idea of a good setup, things to have. And now we're going to talk a little bit about technique, okay? Interact with your audience. It's easier to keep a customer than to get a new one. That's an old marketing adage. And I use it in this case because it's easier to keep someone in your room who has already come to your room than to talk and convince someone who has never been to your live stream to visit, right? So when people do come, make sure that you're making them feel warm and welcomed and appreciated, because there's a million other lives they could be in, and they chose to be in yours, right? And the longer someone interacts with you, the more chances that they have to send you gifts, okay? Technique tip number 2, schedule your live streams. Now, I understand that we're busy people. I do. I also understand that if I host an event every day at 5 o'clock and let all my friends know, then there's a better potential that they will arrive at 5 o'clock than if I go live at 4 o'clock and just hope they show up, right? It would be much more people attending if I was to say, hey, man, on Tuesday and Thursday around 3 o'clock PST, I'm a live stream. And I'm sure more people would show up to these scheduled broadcasts than if you were to just wake up on a random Tuesday and say, I think I'll go live, right? So if you can, schedule your live streams. That gives you a chance to promote. That gives you a chance to plan. And it gives you a time to add the element of thoughtfulness to your live, okay? Operate from a template or main idea, okay? So when you are on the app, exploring other places, pay attention to some of the top tier hosts. Pay attention to those who make it to the heat list. Observe what their techniques may be, what their styles of streaming are. Because while good artists create, great artists steal. And what I mean by that is you can learn a lot from someone hosting a raffle. You can learn a lot from someone hosting a audition or a talent show or anything of that nature, okay? So because you can indeed learn from these people, take that into consideration, okay? So you want to operate from a template, meaning maybe something you've seen before or idea you created or a main idea. Today we're going to do a raffle for a shield, okay? So everyone that sends me a treasure, we're going to enter your name into a raffle that's going to pay out in about 10 days. So we're going to run this program for 10 days. If you do send me a treasure, I'll write your name on this whiteboard behind me. And that's how I'll keep up with whoever participates. And at the end of the month, we'll roulette, and whoever wins, wins. Sounds great, doesn't it? I didn't create that idea, but I am allowed to utilize it for my live streaming goals. So make sure that you are watching and learning as you pursue the app, because now you are a student of the paid broadcasting game. Now, we all understand all live streams don't go as smooth as we would hope, right? Sometimes the audience members get a little out of hand. Thankfully, Bigo has given us the permission to control our lives or our live streams, our broadcasts, by managing the audience, okay? So by management, I mean you can mute, kick, or report people within your live stream who do not mean you well, who are not participating, who are sending demeaning or degrading comments. Maybe they're over sexual with you at a time where you don't want to accept that type of energy. You are allowed to remove them, kick them, or block them, or report them. Okay. All you would do is click their profile name. I'll give you a demonstration here. So you see this person here. We're going to click their name. Once we click their name, you see manage, and you have the options available. Okay. So we're going to just kick this guy out. That was terrible. He probably did nothing wrong. And we just did that to prove this point. Okay. Now, the other option that you saw on that screen was to make an administrator, okay? People who have been made an administrator cannot be disciplined by anyone else that's an administrator except for the broadcaster themselves, and they have the same permissions to mute or kick those who violate the rules of the broadcast. So make sure that you pick administrators that understand your streaming styles and techniques, the things that you're willing to deal with, that you're not willing to deal with, okay? So the basics that we learned today about just the live streams are make sure that you're mindful of the image you create, make sure that you keep a nice and pleasant energy, that you interact with your audience, make sure that you care about your setup, and last but not least, make sure that you manage your room. Hey, welcome back. So we know about our quota. We learned about it. We learned about that first. We learned how to read our quota chart. We learned that we can only get 40% from within our agency. We learned that we can only receive 20% of the value of gifts from out of region. We learned about image. We learned about aura, in a sense, or ambiance as far as your live stream. We learned a few techniques. And the last thing I want to teach you about is a few of the activities available. So I'm sure you've noticed there are events talked about often in the form of PKs, which is player knockouts, and also events known as live houses, okay? So a PK, or player knockout, is a player versus player event, okay? Where two people compete against each other in the receiving of gifts over a 20-minute, one-round battle royale, okay? You can do this in a few different places or methods or instances. one of which is called a friendly PK. It's when you have not signed up for anything, you and your friend line randomly, and you just want to do a PK, so you hit the button of sign up, line, PK, whatever. It's just a friendly PK, but it is non-official. A non-official friendly PK. Okay. Now, there are PKs that you can sign up for. I'm unsure of who you may have as an agent. I know if you operate under any of our conglomerate agencies, you should be able to find these links on your Discord. Okay. If you need help, just please refer to the comment section here, or feel free to write within the Discord itself, and we'll direct you to the appropriate location. Okay. The goal of this, the reason to sign up is these player versus player events often have incentives. Okay. So the registered and the official PKs have incentives known as rewards or rebates. Okay. So a reward is a set amount of gifts given to you for completing certain objectives, right? You may receive 500 beans for participating. Winner may receive 1,000 beans. Loser may receive 300 beans. Showing up on time may give you some beans. So there'll be certain requirements, and as long as you meet those, you will be a recipient of the told rewards, okay? Rebate PKs. Rebate PKs give you a percentage of your received beans back to you. So if you were participating in a 50% PK, you received 1,000 gifts. You will receive a rebate of 500 gifts, right? Pretty simple math, and it's all comparative. Just be mindful of what works for you, okay? Maybe you're a person who does well with participation. Maybe you're a person who can leverage high levels of support, right? For example, if there's a reward of 1,000 beans and you are prepared to have 10,000 beans worth of gifts given to you, receiving 1,000 for that 10,000 is equivalent to 10%. Where if you were to funnel that same investment through a 50% PK, you would receive a 5,000 bean reward if you complete the other objectives, of course. So be mindful of what level you're participating in and choose the appropriate level. Okay, pretty straightforward, huh? The second event I want to discuss is the second element of this event I wanted to discuss is charm points. A lot of times when you read, you're reviewing about how to sign up for a PK, you will learn about charm points. Okay, charm point is equivalent to the beans earned during that PK multiplied by 10. So 30 beans will show as 300 charm points. 300 beans will show as 3,000 charm points. So forth, so on. So if you do see a link that says loser 500 beans, winner 1,000 beans, 5,000 charm point minimum, then it's a reward-based PK because the amounts have been shown. The loser will get 500 beans. The winner would get 1,000. And the minimum charm points being 5,000 means that you must receive 500 beans. Okay? The thing about PKs is PKs are an opportunity for you to earn a little bit extra, right? A 50% PK is equivalent to a 1.5 multiplier for any gifts you receive. While your rewards and your rebates do not count for your quota, they do count as far as actual currency within your wallet. And as we know, as we learned before, your wallet is the area where you can do one of two things. You can turn your beans into cash, Or you can take that money, treat it as a tip, and possibly do business with other hosts or whoever you deem necessary in order to increase your own brand. Okay? It's okay to invest in yourself. It's okay to think highly of yourself because that's what you're supposed to do. You are indeed your own marketing team, and you should market yourself appropriately. Hey, welcome back. So, these last few concepts I consider to be important elements of the app. These are just a few pointers on how to operate within the world, and I hope that they help you, okay? One thing we haven't discussed a lot about is families. On the app, once you leave your agency and go into the open world, you will always be a part of your agency. But the people that you naturally come around and you spend time with on the app, some of these are family units, meaning it's a group of hosts who are like-minded, who sometimes share time spent with each other, sometimes create events for each other, and oftentimes are the first layer of support for a host. Okay? Be careful and take your time in choosing a family. Make sure that you're choosing a group that does things that you like, a group that does things that you appreciate, and some place that you can grow. Okay? Your family is not responsible. I repeat, your family is not responsible for sending you gifts. Okay? Your family is a support place. It's a combination of hosts who seek a common goal. For example, if you're a singer and you join a singing family, you probably could expect some of your family members to host karaoke, or some of your family members to attend a talent show if you were to host it, right? If you were to join a family full of beautiful women, you may expect panels that demonstrate that. You may expect to have other women to line with, maybe whatever beautiful women do. I happen to be masculine, so I'm not very sure what they do, okay? But the concept is to find like-minded individuals in which you feel that you can grow and progress as a live streamer around, okay? So that's our first miscellaneous point. What are families? Gotcha. We do have a few families that I personally promote, one of which being House of Hustle. It's a family that is up and coming on the app. I believe we recently reached Diamond 1 or 2. We've been doing a great job of keeping and developing new hosts and also new talent. Okay, so if you are looking for a family to join, feel free to come around and hang out a little bit. I don't recommend just trying to join the family from you'll click the profile, you'll see the family, you'll see apply from there. I don't recommend just going for an application without coming and spending some time with us, because we want to make sure that it's a good place from both sides, okay? I don't recommend anyone just joining a family for clout. I would rather you join an organization that you felt would work for you and your streaming style, okay? The second family that I support personally would be the Plush Hotties. It is a group of women who seek to empower other women in forms of body positivity, overall love, and just a feeling of inclusion and acceptance, okay? So House of Hustle, I would recommend more to some of my male hosts, also more of my true standard Let's live streamers. and the Plush Hottie family being one that I want to recommend for those of you who have a little spice to your streaming. Okay? And we'll keep it at that. All right? So that's my spiel on families, and I'll see you in a moment with something else. Welcome to the last installment of, I believe this is a 4 or 5 part series. And I thank you for bearing with me as you have. I just want to bring about one last topic, okay? Cybersecurity, okay? We're dealing with the internet. We're dealing with the World Wide Web. We are dealing with people who we may never meet, okay? Everyone is not a good person. So we do ask that you take a little bit of time to be mindful of your cybersecurity. Feel free to use Google Voice as a phone number creator for the creation of maybe your WhatsApp number, anything like that people would use to contact you. I recommend not putting any of your social medias as links to log into your Bigo account. Social medias aren't always the most secure place themselves. So by connecting a social media account to your job, in a sense, your paid broadcasting, where all your funds are, connecting the two isn't always the safest. I recommend creating a second or a separate email address that you will only use for Bigo. And you can use that as a quick sign in, okay? Because when you create an email, you can leave it signed into your phone, and you can utilize it on Bigo as a safer, quick login method, okay? If your page is hacked, please contact Bigo through Bigo Feedback, and also reach out to your agency owner, okay? Because at that point, you need a little help, and someone surely will try to assist you, okay? So the faster the better. Just be careful and be safe, all right? The last concept we want to embrace is illegal beans, okay? So because diamonds, the gifts that are sent to you before they become beans, are backed by currency, if at any time a person calls and disputes those charges where the money itself is removed from the app under the concept of fraud, the diamonds purchased by that fraudulent activity will also be removed as well, okay? So that concept is known as illegal beans. You may see a negative amount shown on your live data as well as on your backstage report. It will show you how many beans you lost. They will be listed as illegal because they no longer have the currency backing them. Okay, so be mindful of hackers and make sure you're playing it safe with your cybersecurity, and also be mindful of people who may have never gifted you before, especially when large gifters or new large gifters, right? If you've never met me or been around me or spent time in my live stream, I could find it hard to believe that you're about to send me 20,000 diamonds or 20,000 beans, right? While I'm going to willingly accept them, I'm just going to be mindful of where they came from and the possibility. I'm just going to be mindful of where they came from and the possibility that the person who gave them to me could not be legit, right? So just make sure you're paying attention to where you receive your gifts from. Don't be afraid to receive them. Just be mindful of your surroundings, okay? So I pretty much feel that that's it for now. We will probably go into more advanced level concepts such as when is a good time to trade, what are some effective PKs, what are some different events you could host, anything of that nature. So I want to take this time, if you are in any of our conglomerate agencies, make sure that you write to the Discord about, just give us the idea of how you feel about hosting. Is it anything you feel that you could be taught? For those of you who don't have that level of intimate communication or connectivity with me, feel free to just leave a response in the comments, man. Let me know what you think about the series itself, what some things that we can add or change, or is it anything else that you like to learn about, okay? And once again, I'm Mayor Plug, also known as Dr. Plug, also known as Trainer Plug, and my Bigo ID is BRADFQRD. Come check out some of my live streams, man. Every Wednesday, 5 PST, Town Hall with the Mayor. And it's me signing out. Thank you, and I hope that you have a great time streaming.